Well, hello, friends. How's everyone doing? It's a new month. Spring is upon us. April 1st, which is also known as April Fools. Just to let everybody know, this is not an April Fool's joke, okay? But somebody's going to wish it was. I can tell you that. So I'm just going to give it a couple minutes. Hopefully the notifications go out and some people start rolling in. I have yet to get the notification from the Real Truth channel, so let me know in the chat if you guys received a notification, please. I would greatly appreciate it. Sometimes it takes a few minutes, so hopefully it goes out. But I hope everyone's having a good day. I know somebody that's going to be having a bad day. So let's see. Oh, Bert Marshmallow says she got hers. Well, there's a bunch of you. John Robertson says, make sure you get cash up front. No Feldman checks. Ain't that the truth? We only... somebody, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, asked, is Bobby coming back? Unfortunately, no, Bobby will not be back. But, he wishes everybody well, and, hopes to see things continue down the road as they're going. So, all right. Well, I have lots to share with you today. So, gonna go over that stuff. As some of you might know, hello, Evelyn. Courtney, Corey's wife, did an interview yesterday with somebody by the name of Chris Knoke, I believe is how you say his name. We are going to go over some of that interview. I will be playing it under fair use. They can try to copy strike me. I will fight it for under fair use, and it'll be back up after 10 days. So I'm absolutely playing it under fair use. I will be doing commentary to it, and I'm only playing certain timestamps because the first 10 to 15 minutes is her talking about her fruit juices, which I don't think anybody here is interested in that. So you might ask yourself, who is this Chris Knoke dude? Well, let me give you a rundown real quick. Chris is somebody who worked with Corey Feldman and is currently working on a documentary with Corey Feldman, apparently. So I don't know if you guys ever seen clips of the YouTube videos of Feldman at concerts. So before he gets on stage, he has these videos to play to pump up the crowd, right? Well, this guy, Chris, is the one who made those videos for Feldman for free. And so he was on a lot of parts of different tours and film stuff. So as you can imagine, he caught a lot of different things on film, some of which, Feldman wishes he didn't have on film. So Chris was going to make a documentary about what a scumbag Feldman is and about how he witnessed him doing drugs and has footage and had witnessed him, being sexually inappropriate with multiple different females and so forth. Oh, and just to let everybody know, there's a trigger warning with this. We will be talking about SA and other things along those lines. So just to give everybody a heads up on that. So he was supposed to be, he was going to work with the girls and put this documentary out. I shouldn't even say work with the girls. I guess he was going to interview a couple of them and, put out what a scumbag Feldman was. And he had even started, this Chris guy started a GoFundMe to try to get donations so him and his wife could fly out to LA to interview people for this documentary, right? Well, Feldman caught wind of it. Kim, who was actually Feldfam at the time, had told Feldman about it, and Feldman was like, wait, what? Chris was a friend. And then Feldman came back to Kim, which I have the screenshots of, saying, oh, well, I talked to Chris, and he immediately took the GoFundMe down, and he told everybody he's not helping them, and we should be applauding him for making the right decision. So what'd you do, Cor? You threatened the guy? And so Chris decided, for whatever reasons, to not do the right thing and to, tell the girls, sorry, yeah, we're not going to do this. Gave some BS excuse, which I'll be showing his excuse. And, said he was making the choice for personal reasons and stopped helping them. And said, I have faith that you girls will get Corey and, good luck to you. And, that was 3.5 years ago. 3 years ago, 3.5. Well, now fast forward to yesterday, and this guy pops up with an interview with Courtney. And he's just talking about how they're all buddies and great friends, and they're working on a documentary with Feldman and yada, 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 yada. Well, Chris, why don't you tell the world what you really think of Feldman? Why are you choosing the abuser over the abused? Is money more important to you? Oh, wait, but you say how Feldman didn't pay you and doesn't pay anybody. Were you hoping something maybe down the years he'd actually give you an opportunity that paid something? So that's more important than doing the right thing, Chris? How would you feel if your wife was in that situation, Chris? I hear you have 2 children. I don't know if your children are girls or boys, but if they're girls, how would you feel if your daughter, your niece, your cousin, your aunt, your sister was in a situation where they were harmed and somebody had proof to help back up their allegations and they chose not to help you and went back to working with the abuser? So we're going to hear Chris, in his own words, say the truth about Feldman. We're going to show the screenshots. I've, had stuff for a while now, and I never really had a reason to show it before. But thanks to Chris, he gave me a reason yesterday to show it. So I went back through some things and, dug up some stuff, and that's where we are today. So you guys will hear somebody that worked for Feldman, has known him for years, was, in the inside with him. If you look on Chris's channel, there's videos of him and Corey together. Chris did an interview at the radio station about working with Corey. Like this guy worked with Corey, right? Just like the bus drivers did and the security guards. And we've all heard what they said about Feldman, right? Well, now we're going to hear what Chris had to say about Feldman. But first, let's go over certain parts of this interview he did with Courtney yesterday. So, we're just going to, the first 10 minutes of it was about her juice. Then she talked about how the film was hacked and they got shut down, but 24 hours later it was put up. So just to give you guys an idea of what was talked about before. I get to the timestamps. But yeah, she was talking about like how she's a health coach and yada yada yada. So we are going to go to, and again, this is getting played under fair use. 23-minute timestamp. I wish you could just like enter it in somehow and it like makes you go to that timestamp. Let me see. I don't want to make it full screen because I won't be able to, but we can do that. Okay, so let's take a listen to this. This is where Courtney just goes in and says some things about their attacks on social media. So let's take a listen.
Or like some crazy dude like coming at you because, you know, you could be possibly exposing some very dangerous people.
Well, you know,
Sorry. So Chris asked her, like, are you scared about people coming after you? You know, so this is her response.
we do get attacked a lot on social media. Like every day, there is like an organized group that does attack us on social media, and they'll go after
An organized group. An organized group.
like Corey's fan base and try and put like doubt and fear in their minds and make up stories, make up lies. We've had like all kinds of things happen to us.
So people go to his fans and make up lies. No. Certain people will comment on threads on Twitter. You know, that's social media. That's how it works. And speak their opinions or share some facts about Feldman or share some links for people to watch. That's all it is.
Where people will, you know, either I would assume be getting paid to do this or, you know.
Yeah, y'all, we're getting paid. Make it rain.
Make up stories or, you know, have some kind of, you know, motivation for doing something like this because
we're getting paid or we have some sort of motivation for doing this. Courtney, Corey, Feldman, we're almost at the 4-year mark. What could we possibly, like, you know, you have this theory that people are paying us or we're doing this for that person and that person. No, the motivation is that it's the right thing to do. That's simply all it is.
You know, before the Truth Doc, none of this would happen. But now, all of a sudden, it's happening. So,
you know, okay, I want you to pay attention to that. She said, before the Truth Doc, none of this was happening. Okay. Actually, whatever.
It's, you know, pretty obvious what's going on. But to the average person that doesn't know Truth Doc is out there, they might not know that. So you get a fan coming on Twitter, then all of a sudden, in the thread, they're getting attacked by people that are part of this organization that goes and does this and, you know, puts a bunch of doubt and fear in their mind. And it's really ridiculous. I really do believe Twitter should have stronger rules against harassment and bullying, especially if it's unfounded. So that's just something that hasn't been in place with Twitter, and the social media really needs to, you know, monitor that more closely because you know, people get attacked every.
Okay, so that's basically how she explained the attacks. But she did say that this didn't happen before the Truth Doc.
Day for this stuff, and it's really not fair.
I agree. I don't even have a Twitter account. I think I do, but I don't ever use it because it's just so toxic.
Yeah, and it's too bad because it's a great way for, you know, fans to connect with their.
All right, yeah. So that's all that was. Okay, well, let's fast forward to the good stuff. So Courtney did us the favor, which Courtney, thank you. You know, I thought you were like Team Feldman and Team Feldfan, but I don't know, man. Courtney, like every time you open your mouth, it almost seems like you're Team Haim, Team Wolfpack. It's really weird because you certainly don't do yourself or your husband any favors, but girl, thank you, because you do us a lot of favors. So here she's going to talk about the monster truck incident, you guys. Remember the big old monster trucks that tried to run over all them? And, nobody witnessed and, everything else? Yeah, that's what she's going to talk about here. Let's see what she says. Oops.
Because the Me Too movement happened. So, Corey was getting all this kind of like pressure on Twitter. You got to name names. And I don't know if this was part of an organized effort to make him talk about it or what it was, but he ended up taking that, we took it as a sign like, okay, he has to go and do this. And it was like he responded on Twitter, and the next day, literally the next day, we ended up walking across the street. We're in Houston, Texas, at the hotel where we were booked to play. We played like a benefit concert for Hurricane Harvey to go towards victims, helping victims. And afterwards, we went to go for food, and I tried calling the Uber. The Uber was not coming at all. You couldn't get a cab, you couldn't get an Uber. We were sitting there. We're like, we want to go and eat hibachi. So we try to go to this hibachi restaurant across the street from the hotel, and we're walking.
Whoa, you just said it's across the street from the hotel, but I thought you were trying to find an Uber and a cab, and no one came. But it's just across the street. What were you going to do? I'll hop up in an Uber? You said, or your husband said, that there was a big group of y'all, or you've said it before, I believe. You're going to take a cab or an Uber just to walk across the street? Minor details, Susie. Let's go on.
Came down and crossing the street, and literally there's about 5 of us. A couple of them stayed back. Mara stayed back at the hotel, but everybody else.
Okay, so she says there's a small group of us, like 5 of us. Mara stayed back at the hotel, which she's referring to Mara Moon, which hopefully you guys all know who that is. She worked for Feldman for a short period of time. She was one of the first girls to come forward and speak out. She's a great person. I was blessed enough to have her confide in me years ago. And I had remembered as soon as I heard this interview yesterday, I said, Mara had already left when the monster truck shit happened. So I confirmed that today. Mara had left when the monster truck happened, which I remembered when she told me that almost 4 years ago, because she said she had already left. Another girl that left like a few days after Mara left, she was there when this whole monster truck nonsense stuff he came up with. But Mara was already gone. So Courtney's trying to be like, well, yeah, we all were going, and Mara stayed back, and, Mara got somehow, this organized group, Mara got the monster truck, said, rev up, they're going to cross. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, okay? And I also was sent proof to even show that Mara was not in Texas when they claimed this happened. So, again, Courtney, thank you, because you're just making your husband out to look like the liar that he is. Thank you very much for helping us with that. Mara was not there.
Went, and I think he meant it, and Marissa also stayed back, and basically we're crossing the road and there's 2 trucks coming out of like the side of our vision there, and we're kind of like, well, we're crossing the street, we're assuming they're going to slow down, right? And so the second part of the street, we go to cross it, and the light turns green. And all of a sudden, we see out of this corner of our eyes, these 2 trucks speed up. Like, they don't slow down for us.
Well, you just said the light turned green. So why would the trucks that are driving down the street, or the cars driving down the street, stop? They're driving down the street. They have a green light. Minor details again, Susie.
Speed up, and Corey and his security are caught between the 2 cars, literally in between them, crossing the street, right in the middle of the street. There's no turning back. There's no slowing down. I thought to myself, I'm either going to see him smashed all over the street, or I'm going to turn around. But I pray to God, I pray to an angel, I ask, for mercy, and I turn around and he's still there. And I'm like,
ask for
mercy.
God.
Like, it was the most insane experience of like my life. He was panting. He was just like, oh my God, what just happened? I almost got killed. They wanted to kill him. They sped up. I thought to myself, like, looking back, we should have filed a police report. We should have, tried to obtain security footage. Why didn't we do that?
There was an attempted murder on your husband's life, and you didn't file a police report? You didn't think to get the security footage? oh my God, how could you guys forget this? Forget about that. Oh, it was just so crazy. I remember.
What was wrong with us, but we were in so much shock. We were terrified. We were scared. That's when we were like, okay, this has got to be a result of, what's been going on and the pressure from the Me Too movement, because when it involves children, it's sexual abuse is always a serious criminal offense. Like nobody should ever have to do something against their will, sexually, I believe. And, we're huge believers in that. So, especially when it involves children, it should be, heralded as the worst of the worst of the worst. So obviously anybody that's involved in this kind of abuse, it does not want to be found out. We, kind of went on the assumption like, okay, this is getting very serious. Something has to happen.
Okay, in a minute, she's going to talk about the car attack, and I really want you guys to, hey, Nicole, pay attention here. So, hold on. Why can't I make Nicole a mod? Okay, pay attention here. Nicole is my best friend, and she was with me all 3 times I met Feldman. So, welcome, Nicole. She's like a sister to me, y'all. She hates Feldman just like the rest of us. So, here we go. She's going to start talking about the car attack. And for everybody who's just coming in now, please stay tuned. I have voice notes that I'm going to play from somebody that worked with Corey Feldman and still is working with Corey Feldman. We're going to hear what this guy really, really what he thinks about Corey. But let's continue listening to this one. Talk about the car attack.
The story has to be told, before something else happens. And like a year later, something else happened. And Corey was, at a stoplight and basically, had, car pull up to him, full of, what appeared to be, Mexican gangsters.
Oh.
And
Mexican gangsters again, y'all. Okay.
Came out of the car, tried to distract the security. The security got out of the car, and the car had a guy come out of the car. This is like a long story, a very traumatic experience.
I remember that story. That was insane, dude.
Yeah, very insane. And the fact that, he was kind of made out to be lying about it because there was no wound,
Oh, wait, what was that? What'd you say, Courtney? Let me back that up a second there, sweetie, because I swear you said there wasn't a wound. Maybe I misunderstood that. Let's see.
Car tried to distract the security. The security got out of the car, and
actually, you know what? Maybe I heard it wrong because I got you sped up. Let's put you back to normal speed. Let's see how you sound. Maybe I'm hearing things wrong. Let's play that again.
The car had a guy come out of the car. This is like a long story, a very traumatic experience.
I remember that story. That was insane, dude.
Yeah, very insane. And the fact that, he was kind of made out to be lying about it because there was no wound.
Oh,
he got lucky. He pulled out of the way. He pulled out of the way, and I believe God was protecting him both.
So now, you guys, there was no wound, and he was able to pull out of the way. Well, Courtney, maybe you should go watch your husband's interview with TMZ and all the other interviews he did where he talked about this car and how they had a syringe and they opened his door magically, even though the car doors lock in your, husband's Mercedes, BMW, whatever it was, as soon as you put the car in reverse. But remember, your husband said somehow they, opened the door and it unlocked and they took a syringe and jabbed him with it. Do you not remember your husband saying that? Do you not remember the pictures? I'm sorry. The pictures that your husband put out of his quote unquote wound, which was like what? A pimple that he had on his chest, his stomach area, his arm, whatever it was. Literally, it was the size of a pinhole, whatever it was. It looked like yeah. So you don't remember your husband claiming that he got stabbed and, had people think that he was stabbed with the knife and whatever else, which I called that right away before he even said it was a syringe. I'm like, dude. And I told Bobby at the time, and I told Cassette at the time, I said, I guarantee you he's going to come out and say, no, 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 I never said it was with the knife, it was with the syringe. And that's exactly what he did, because he's so predictable. Evelyn, hold on a second, honey. Let me give you a wrench. For some reason, Evelyn, next time you comment, hopefully I'll catch you and I can give you a wrench. Well, let's hear what else she says. So there was no wound and he was able to pull away.
Times I'm, a big believer in God. I pray every night. I lean on God for, through these hard times and for my spirituality. And he's really protected us through everything and provided what we needed, the security, the funds, everything that we needed to make this movie, which has been a passion project and an ode to Corey's best friend.
All right. Yeah.
To honor his memory and his legacy and to tell a story that he really wanted to be told.
Okay, so that's all she really, talks about that. But she, again, her story about the monster trucks make no sense. She lied, said Mara Moon was there. She wasn't. Claims they're calling for an Uber or a taxi, but then says the place is across the street. Then she's talking about, Feldman's PR stunt, which we know that Feldman's security guard buddy, Big Will, told Feldman members that Feldman flat out made that up, which, his lawyer basically came out and said that he made it up. But yeah, so then she says that her husband, nobody believed my husband that he was attacked because he didn't have a wound. And, thankfully he was able to, drive off and get out of the way. Really, really strange there. So, all right, now we're going to get into this Chris guy. For those of you who, 22 of you actually, who are in the Real Truth chat, Bobby's old channel, if you would like to join the main chat and where there's like 40 some people, you can do that at my channel. Here, I'll go ahead and post it in his chat. It's Suzi-Q 7979. So you just put that in the YouTube and it will bring you over to the main chat where you can find people that have the same opinions on Feldman about you and you can chat. Oh, there you are, Evelyn. Good timing. Okay. So, and then, this guy, Chris, goes on to say how, him and Corey are working on some documentary currently, yada, yada, yada. So, and thank you to everybody here. We got 60 people between the two chats, I believe. This number on StreamYards is the correct one. So thank you, everyone, for being here. So again, this guy, Chris, worked with Feldman, did the videos for him to play before he came on concert, was on a couple different tours with him and documented a bunch of stuff. And when the girls started coming forward, he, reached out to the girls, whatever, and he was going to make a documentary about like what a scumbag Feldman is and everything else. Well, then one day, even after this guy started a GoFundMe thing to get money, to get people to donate for him to fly out to LA and interview some of the other girls for his documentary, all of a sudden one day, the girls get a message that he's not helping and he's pulling out for personal reasons, right? Well, I have the screenshot of Kim back when she was Feldman telling Feldman about Chris and his GoFundMe thing. And then Feldman comes back and was like, oh my gosh, Chris was a friend. And then, Feldman comes back and tells Kim that he made contact with Chris, and Chris immediately took down the GoFundMe, and Chris contacted those girls and, made them aware that he won't be helping them anymore, and that, everyone should applaud Chris for making the right decision. Yeah. What'd you threaten him with, Corey? What kind of threats did you and Phil give to him? And shame on you, Chris, because we'll hear what you say for yourself. So let's dive into that. So I am going to show first, before we get to the voice notes, I'm going to show you guys the screenshots of the conversation and how it went, because the conversation that I have screenshots and have had are between Paulina and Chris, because I just want to show you guys that no way was Paulina like begging this guy, like, oh, we need your help, please. You know, in no way was it like that. This guy was the one that was like, we got nothing to worry about. F him. We got this, yada, yada, yada. And so I'm going to show you the screenshots. In the screenshot, it's 90% of Paulina talking, and you'll see like a voice note. We'll listen to all those voice notes when we're done going over the screenshots. I'll try to go over them as fast as possible. But again, just keep in mind that we'll hear the voice notes after this. So let's go ahead and screen share. Oh, wait, you know what? Let me pull up the actual messages real quick here. Hopefully these will play in order because they were sent all in one group thing. So let's see. Oh boy. Well, I'm glad I decided to screen share and try to. Just give me a second, guys. Sorry. Well, for some reason, when I click on a certain screenshot, it kicks me out. Let me try something here, guys. Sorry. Not sure why it's doing this. All right. These might not be in order, but like I said, it's just to show you guys some examples of how Paulina wasn't asking like him for help, and you'll hear in the voice notes how Chris talked to them. Unfortunately, it wants to give me issues. So here he is saying it just goes to prove more of that Corey and a-hole. Paulina says, yeah, I did say something about that on my Opperman report interview, and I'm preparing to keep calling about it for upcoming interviews. It sucks because I feel like I've had to push through the trauma. Hold on. To speak out in a timely fashion, if that makes sense. I'm going forward, but just barely coming to terms with everything that happened. Something we will get him. Okay. Chris says, I support you girls all the way. I hope you will be a part of my documentary. Paulina says, yeah, I mainly suffered abuse for insisting that I wasn't having sex with anyone, and Corey still asked me to collect women for him after one of the shows. Huh, Nicole, doesn't that sound really familiar? Like, didn't he ask us to do that back in 2000? Yeah, he did. Paulina says, yes, definitely anything to get justice. So there Chris is asking her to be in the documentary, not the other way around. Then he says, Chris says, and there's nothing wrong with sharing that. It just goes to prove more and more that Corey and whatever. Okay, so that was the other part of the screenshot we saw. It sure effing does, Nicole says. Yeah, we will get him. Voice notes, which we'll hear shortly. Yeah, he owes me money, Polina says. It's good to hear your story because I keep feeling like I'm smart enough. Why was I so naive? I know. Fuck, it's so bizarre. That's why I think they use mind control somehow. And again, Polina's responding to what Chris is telling her in voice notes. Yeah, Nicole, go ahead. I didn't even know that, Nicole. I sent her the link. Nicole, we have not spoken in weeks. Go ahead and write your comments, whatever, about how it was when we met him. So go ahead and speak freely. Okay, so Polina says, it's so bizarre. That's why I think they use mind control somehow. It's really hard to explain. That's why for a while I thought it was pointless to say anything. And again, she's like, when you guys see this here, it's voice notes that she's responding to. Bye, baby. And then, so Polina says, yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. She updated us, and me and Jackie watched the trailer. You have video of me. Do you have video of me from the tour? I felt so invincible on that tour, except the venues crews were always good to me and acknowledged my work and asked me why I was being treated like a slave. I haven't even read all these screenshots, you guys. Please don't slam the door like she did. All right, bye. So Polina says, yeah, it's cool. We liked that. We thought it was super smart way to go about it. It's super sad. I liked Corey, she said. Voice note, dang, okay, cool. That show was so stressful. The venue was mad at us all, and we had no control over his mood swings. And I believe that was a show that he decided not to do that night, or like didn't do the VIP thing. I'm not sure. Well, I'm convinced, Nicole, that you have those two pictures that I took from Mark from the cruise, the Playboy cruise thing. I'm convinced they're in one of your thousands bins of pictures because I don't have it. That's so sad. I hate hearing all these stories. It's one thing to deal with being used and abused, but that's how everyone else went through. Okay. But his stupid manager is just as bad, Polina says. They bombarded me with so much personal information about finances and projects and personal issues. They made me feel like I had to go on that tour to finally reap the benefit of all the hard work I'd done for free. Phil even said, what else are you going to do this summer? Sit around and work a boring job? I felt like I had to go. Otherwise, somehow I was missing out on reaping the rewards. I thought it was funny how little he was, like seriously, the size of a 12-year-old. Yeah. Polina says, that's so sad. Again, she's responding to Chris's voice notes. I hate hearing all these stories. It's one thing to deal with being used and abused. Oh, but then know everyone else went through and the same things. It just hurts. Yes, absolutely. We all got your back too. And we will share and support the video, aka the doc Chris was making against Feldman. Yeah, that was one of the venues he really screwed over his fans. 666. I'm so glad you were there with your cameras. Haters online. Okay, again, she's responding to his voice notes. Haters online be like, oh, you just want attention. And I'm like, I made costumes for Beyonce, which I did not know that, Polina. Like I said, I never read all these screenshots. So you go, girl. I did not even know that. I made costumes for Beyonce's Formation tour before working for that a-hole. I have tons of cool stuff going on. Dealing with coming out has just been more free work I have to do because of Feldman. Dealing with coming out. Okay, yeah, I'm in town, and Jackie is staying at my house right now, too. Yeah, Nicole actually remembers more from the first night that we met him than I do. Yeah, so, but Feldman's been sober for 30 years, y'all. So Polina says, yeah, she's in town. He leaves a voice note. Awesome. Yeah, we will share the GoFundMe. I almost did my own Indigo campaign just to survive this crap, but I borrowed money from a friend. Yeah, definitely use your talents. I support that. I'm putting out a music video soon. Okay, so this was just to basically show y'all that, in no way was Polina like begging this guy to help them. And you guys will hear it in the voice notes. Okay, sorry guys. Something's messed up here for some reason. Okay, let me get into the voice notes. Oh. And then you guys, I will show the screenshot. That wasn't through Messenger when Chris messaged the girls and said he would no longer be helping them. He sent it via a text message that I have the screenshot of. So I will show that, and then I will show you the screenshot of Feldman telling Kim that he had contacted Chris, and Chris immediately took down the stuff. So Feldman, either A, threatened the guy somehow, B, said, dude, I know I haven't paid you, but man, there'll be some cool stuff you'll be able to work on. And, network, I got connections for you, bro. And this dude decided, oh, never mind doing the right thing and helping girls that were, essayed by Feldman. No. Let me, keep things cool with him. So hopefully down the road I can, get a job and actually get paid for. All right, well, let's go to... All right. Thank you, Get Benched. I appreciate that. All right. So here we are. So, alrighty, let's listen to this. Uh-oh.
Sorry, I'm doing voice to text, so it doesn't always write it correctly, but I'm just saying, like, this is going to just prove more and more of just how much of an asshole Corey really is.
Hold on, let me come right back, because a dog's barking, and let me know if you guys were able to hear that okay. Okay, hopefully that'll be okay. Michelle says, I could hear it. Nicole says, let me tell you, I wouldn't touch that dude for anything, even 20 years ago. Okay, good. Everyone can hear it. Let me play this one again since it's only 12 seconds. And I want you guys to really hear what this guy said and what he's saying, because again, it's so familiar with anybody else who has worked or met Feldman. Okay, we've listened to probably almost near a dozen people who have either worked with Feldman or knew him in some way, shape, or form. Nicole and I met him 20 years ago. Our experience with Feldman was super, similar to other people's experience, that met him 20 years later, because this is how he is, point blank period. This guy is currently again working with Feldman, and I really want you to listen to all the stuff he says. Because what reason would this guy have to be like, hey, You girls are coming out. I see your videos on YouTube. I have footage of things. Feldman fucked me over. He's, an a-hole, and I'm going to expose this guy. And then all of a sudden be like, nope, I'm pulling the plug. And then 3 years later, start working with him again. So who's getting paid for what? Who has, motivation for what, Courtney? Let's go ahead and hear this. Oh, I need to turn it up. Okay, it's as loud as it goes.
Sorry, I'm doing voice to text, so it doesn't always write it correctly, but I'm just saying, like, this is going to just prove more and more of just how much of an asshole Corey really is.
Preach.
It's going to show also how he manipulates, how he gets people to somehow, and I want to get to the bottom of it because it happened to me as well as you, to do so much stuff for free. And it's stuff that, like, we didn't initially sign up for all the way, but, like, once you get sucked into doing something for him a little bit, he has this weird way of, like, taking advantage of you and making you feel obligated somehow to keep doing it. And it's so bizarre. And, like, that's what I want to get to the bottom of. And then, of course, obviously, he owes the girls money. I don't know if he owes you money, but I know for a fact he owes the girls money, what I think breaches his contract. So there's, like, nothing to be afraid of, dude. Like, this guy's a total jerk. And, like, it's time for this to be, like, hit it from all angles.
It's time to expose Feldman, right, Chris?
Like, for instance, Corey asked me to do a few videos for him, and it would be like, oh, I'm going to, you're going to be published and your name will get out there. I'll promote you. I know people. All these cool things are going to happen. Like, he promises these things. And then, like, so you're like, dude, this sounds cool. Like you said, this sounds like an adventure. Like, that's what I had in mind. And then once you start doing it, all of a sudden he'll call you. Like, he called me and just starts, like, screaming at me, going like, this is going to be a disaster. I need you to make this tonight by 7 o'clock and send it to me. And I'm like, whoa, dude, I'm doing this shit for free. This is what I do professionally, man. And, like, this is insane. And then, but somehow he manipulates you, and there's something weird. And like I said, I want to get to the bottom of it, where you continue for some reason. He makes you feel like you have to do it. It's so bizarre.
Isn't it, though? So bizarre, Chris.
Yeah, like, it's sad. Like, I know you've done so much more work than I have, at least physically, and you were on the tour and everything like that. But, like, I can relate because he asked me to do all these videos, and I did. And basically, I mean, I've done 25 to 35 hours worth of work, and then not even that, graphic design work, just to be nice. And then he takes that and capitalizes off it without my permission. Like, he sold my design that I did for him for free and makes a t-shirt out of it and starts profiting. He doesn't even tell me, doesn't even ask for permission, and starts selling it as merchandise and pocketing cash from it. I'm like, this guy takes advantage of people, like, so much. It's just, like, unreal. So I have to share this side of my experience. And then now that you girls are coming out with this shit, it's like, we have got to, like, talk about this and get this out now. And I'm so glad you girls are doing it in your platform, and I'm excited to get it out in my platform.
Wow. So, yeah, I don't remember all these. But yeah, he flat out says that not only did Feldman never pay him for the videos he did and all the work, but he also took one of the designs he made, put it on a shirt, and Feldman sold it for money without even asking the guy permission, without even paying the guy, without even saying, hey, what, let's sell these shirts with your design, man, and, split the profits. So again, that just goes to show you what this guy is saying is the absolute truth, because, he's got no reason to lie. Like, he's going to lie and say he wasn't paid for shit? I mean, come on.
And so I don't know if Margot told you like what I'm doing right now. Initially, I was just going to make this for my friends and family because they were wondering, how'd the Corey Feldman experience go, dude? Like, we want to hear your story because that's what I do. I'm a big YouTuber. I'm a big family guy. Like, we have over 20 million views, 30,000 subscribers. Like, it just keeps growing.
Yeah, it's really weird because yesterday, okay, your channel, Chris, says you have 76,000 subscribers. Yet, after Courtney's video being up for, 15 hours, you only had 69 views yesterday, which I have a screenshot. Let's see how many's on there. 208 views. Okay, let's, but hey, those numbers don't add up. Look at my views, look at my subs. Okay, just do the math.
So huge, and I'm like, that's an outlet to show my story. So I was going to make this little documentary, and when I say little documentary, I mean like a 15-minute little story about the experience. Not everything's puppies and rainbows that you would think. And so now that I was getting ready to tell my story and finally get around to making it, this is when Margot posted her video and Jackie posted her video. I'm like, holy shit, like, I'm not the only one like who saw this shit going on. And like, I have video footage of you girls breaking down your sets all by yourselves and stuff. It's crazy.
Oh.
And so I don't know if Margot told you.
So he has video footage to back up what the girls said and say that they had to break everything down themselves and, do that all. Didn't Feldman accuse them of lying about that? Oh, yeah, he did. So this is the one we just listened to, I believe.
What I'm doing right now, initially I was just going to make this for my friends and family.
Okay, so we heard that one. Okay, let's go to the next one.
And see, yeah, if you watch the trailer, it really doesn't tell anything except my biography, and then it just introduces the Corey Feldman experience, right? I think that, and what the initial trailer was supposed to be was just to be eye-grabbing, because that's what I do, I tell stories. It's supposed to capture the attention of a boy like myself, I mean, that was me, having this excitement to finally meet an idol of mine, right, that I looked up to my whole life, right? And yeah, it kind of comes off like, wow, this is a big moment. But I want to show the side where it's like all of this childhood dreams and shit turns to a fucking disappointment. And it's like really sad. And so like, that's why I'm being very careful right now, because like I said, this is my outlet. And I don't know if you guys are doing a
Love you, Nicole. And I'm glad after all these years, you just joined the stream, recently Nicole and I have been talking about this stuff and like in the last few months, and she's not tech like you guys think I'm bad with tech stuff. She's way worse. So yeah, but she's the one that I was telling you guys I'm thinking about doing an interview with, kind of a get to know Susie better with her, best friend of 20 years. In 20 plus years, and I was going to have her talk about meeting Feldman because like I said, she was with me all 3 times. So all right, talk to you in the morning. Hey Christina.
Documentary or not, if this is just your platform just putting out videos, but like my platform is a little different, so I want to keep stuff just kind of quiet until I make it, because I don't want to risk Corey or Phil trying to scare me and shut it down.
Oh, you don't want to risk Corey or Phil finding out about it and scare you into shutting it down. Oh, Chris, isn't that exactly what happened, buddy?
I'm pretty sure I have video of all you girls from the tour. I was running my camera and stuff after the shows too, and like seeing backstage stuff and whatnot. Yeah, I think I filmed some stuff of you in Omaha. No, not Omaha. I'm sorry. The Ozarks, when you guys were at that facility, and it was crazy.
Hold on one second, guys.
Yeah, I listened to your podcast and like it just broke my heart. Like it was so sad, like the stuff you went through and you witnessed. And I'm gonna bring my hard drives with me when I fly out to LA. Me and my wife Laura, she's gonna be running sound for me and just being there for me, you know, support and everything too. So I'll bring my hard drive of like all the footage and B-roll I took like on like when I went to go like quote meet Corey, because he kept promising me this interview as an exchange for all this free work. And I drove 8 hours, technically if you combine it all, like 16 hours, just to meet him. And he didn't even give me an interview that night and actually rushed me through like meeting him. And it was so like disappointing. And like, that's when stuff really started going downhill. And I was like, this is not right. Like this guy is like taking advantage of me. And I drove 16 hours to meet this man. He promised me an interview. After doing free work, and he didn't even give me the interview, and I was just so sick. Like I was so mad. And again, just hearing all your guys' stories. And he finally, I will say this though, he finally did give me an interview, but it was the most bizarre thing ever. I'm going to share that, how like bizarre it is. And I want to kind of question, like, you know, could this man be on something? Like, who has that much energy at 3:30 in the morning? Like, he offered me an interview at 3:30 in the morning. I was so tired. I was so like zoned out. I'm like, well, this is my opportunity to like sit down and have an interview with him. And it was so bizarre. But anyway, there's just so much crazy stuff to like share in this documentary. I'm just so excited to get it started. And I'm so excited that you're going to be a part of it.
Again, you guys are hearing this dude's own voice tell his story and his experience with Feldman. The guy drove 16 hours. He was promised an interview. Feldman didn't do it. And then, whatever, he ended up doing an interview at, you know, what did he say, 3:30 in the morning. That's normal.
Oh yeah, that venue was crazy. That venue owner was so upset. And what was the other thing I was going to tell you? Oh yeah, I got on camera of these fans outside. I filmed them, man. They were pissed. They were so pissed that Corey wasn't coming out, and they paid for all these VIP tickets, and he just threw a hissy fit and wasn't even going to come out. And I'm like, you cannot do that to fans. But you know what? I went up to him and said, what's going on here? Why are you upset? And I got it all on camera. This one lady's like, Corey broke my heart. She's like, I was his biggest fan. I'm no longer his fan. Like, I just think this documentary is going to hit so many angles to really shine some light on the other side of the, quote, truth campaign, unquote, which is totally just disgusting in my opinion. And I can't believe people are still throwing money at him.
Again, all these people, very similar, if not the same stories, experiences.
And I will totally share all your content. Also, matter of fact, like when I meet you, like next week, when me and Laura fly out, if you're there, hopefully, I just want to make sure that's all planned out correctly. You know, we'll do the interviews and whatnot. I'll give you some footage if you need it for your project and whatnot, my B-roll. And also, I will then start like sharing all your guys' stuff too, because like I said, at this point, I do not want to risk losing a bunch of potential viewers, sponsors, because me and Laura are going to need some help with our flights out there. And it's not very much, but I think if we do a little GoFundMe, I have a lot of friends and family who are going to do that.
Somebody asked, when is this documentary come out? Well, the documentary that this guy was going to do is showing that Corey Feldman, you know, is everything that we have said he is, backed out of it because Feldman called him, and I'll show a screenshot, and I'll show the screenshot of what BS excuse he gave to the girls. So.
But I also don't want to risk giving away like like where this is going too fast because of the, like, again, the platform I'm doing a documentary is different than just coming out with YouTube videos with like what you girls are doing, which is amazing. I just want to come with a different approach with my gift that God has blessed me with, and it's to do a intense story and pull at these heartstrings the way that through a documentary would do. So I just want to be careful not to lose people's interest if they're just like, oh, you're just a big, Corey Haim supporter and you hate Corey Feldman and how dare you, we're not going to support it. Like, I don't want them to know this yet. I want them to be in suspense.
Yeah, and I just want to point out something. When Chris was talking about how he wants to figure out how Feldman gets people to do things for free for him, and how he manipulates people and does all this crazy stuff, right? That's what he did to the Haim family, right? He rode Haim's coattails literally as far as he could, used his name to, write a book, used his name to get donations, GoFundMe, Indigo, everything else, used Haim's name for his documentary, yada, yada, yada. It's what Feldman does.
We need to keep these people interested because they need to know the truth.
Oh, wait, let's listen to that one again.
We need to keep these people interested because they need to know the truth.
Oh, do they though, Chris? Right? All right.
Exactly. Like, why would you need attention? Like, you've already have worked with people way bigger than Corey Feldman. I heard your background on that podcast I shared with Margot the other day. And I commented how amazing it was and heartbreaking. And it's like, yeah, I mean, dude, trust me, Corey is manipulating a lot of people and they're falling for it. And it just blows my mind how they're giving him money like that. And so we have got to hit him heavy. And I think with the team that we have going on and the different approaches and the different, what do I say? Like, with YouTube and like I said, with me doing a documentary, which is also just going to go straight to YouTube. We're going to hit from a bunch of angles and get a lot more, we're going to get a lot more reach. And hopefully it's going to work great.
Is it though?
Why don't you do a GoFundMe or an Indiegogo? The only reason I didn't do an Indiegogo is because I have to, I think you have, I don't know. I was under the impression you have to, give people, stuff, merchandise and all this stuff. I don't have time for that. But what I am going to do with the GoFundMe, I'm going to give anyone who donates. And I'm like I said, I'm not here to make profit off this. I'm here to share the truth through my passion, through my gift, just like you girls. Well, I want to share what I went through. It's just turned into a bigger thing because I'm not the only one who experienced this crazy stuff. Like again, when Margot came out with her NDA video, and then and Jackie, and then now you with your you're like the voice now because they can't say so much, and this is just going to be awesome. But I am going to give, I think, everyone a producer type credit who pitches in through the GoFundMe. And like I said, I'm not even going to raise that much money. I just need enough for me and Laura to buy some plane tickets, and maybe a hotel, and that's it. We're going to try and just knock it out in a couple days and, go about it that way. So I think you should totally do a GoFundMe or something like that because people would totally support you. Ironically enough, your song, "The Sun Don't Shine," I believe that's what it's called. After I watched your video release with you and Margot and Jackie, ironically enough, that video popped up next, and I clicked on it, and I shared this with Margot, and I don't know if she's read it yet, but I started crying because, first of all, you have an amazing voice.
Yeah, she does.
Second of all, the words, like I think you recorded that like over a year ago, and like they lined up so much to what you poor girls are going through, and just all this madness. And I think it's just so like to me, it just felt like all the stars are lining up. Like this is the right time to do this. This is the time. So it just, this is going to be awesome. Don't be scared. Do not be afraid of anything. Nothing's going to fucking happen to you.
Oh, don't be scared. Don't be scared. But yet the second Feldman calls you, you got scared, right? I want to thank you for the person who sent in a donation. I greatly appreciate it. And it will go towards things like paying for StreamYards every month, expenses that I have and all this stuff. So thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, wait, that's the one we just listened to. My bad.
And trust me too, like to be honest with you, I was a little scared too. Like I even talked to Laura going, man, like, this is a little scary. Like we're going to come out and like share our side of the story. We're going to tell the world the other side of Corey, and like it's not what you think. Like it's disgusting, and he's lying through his teeth. And it is a little scary because like, can they lawyer up, and can they try to sue me? And luckily I talked to my friend Chad yesterday, who's a lawyer, and he's like, man, you don't need to worry about shit. Like, and he was even talking about how like NDAs are like total bullshit, and like lawyers don't even like look at those that strongly, and that's what makes me feel better about everything too. And so he's also going to review it before we release it to make sure like all of us are safe. Does that make sense? That way, if he's like, oh, I wouldn't say that or get her saying that because, you can't really say that, so I feel good about it.
Yeah, I am. Fortunately, I don't have Super Chat. My channel is not monetized. I don't know if I'm ever going to make it monetized. I had the public watch hours, and then I put all my videos on private there because Feldman and his people and other people were doing fraudulent strikes. And I'm right there getting the watch hours again, but I don't know if I want to monetize it for sure or not. So I don't know. So I just have the Cash App.
I think that's fantastic. Like, yeah, if that's your God-given gift for sure. So like, take all that energy and put it into something good, and it'll definitely hit the ears of many, 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 thousands and thousands of people. So that's awesome. That's so awesome. All right, girl. Well, me and Laura are fixing to get mics back up again and try this again. It's kind of hard filming these. I don't know did you take any takes when you filmed that? Because it was so fluid and smooth, and you just got exactly when you wanted out, and your wording was so perfect, and it was just awesome. Like, gosh, we just keep struggling, but maybe it's because we need to like just pause and break and think about what we're saying first. But anyway, great talking to you. Let's keep in touch, and hopefully if the GoFundMe goes great, I think regardless, we're just going to do it anyway, and we'll see you next weekend. Yeah, I know, the nerve-wracking thing, but here, I'm going to tell you this again, and listen to this. Find peace in this. Corey can't do anything. I mean, they can try to scare us. They can try to say, hey, you can't make this, or you can't say this. Bullshit. People on YouTube and stuff talk shit and spread, lies all the time. Look at Corey. He's on TV spreading lies through his teeth, and nothing happens to him, right? So, and then there's like people on YouTube who talk about other people all the time. They don't get in trouble. It's just, how do I say this? Like, basically, this is our story. This is just showing another side of Corey that people need to see, and there's nothing wrong with it. They can't do anything. And if the girls are all scared about the NDA, just know that I'm almost positive that NDA is null and void because he did not fulfill his part of the contract and didn't pay you. You didn't even sign one, so you have nothing to be afraid of, except for, I know what you're talking about, that kind of weird, like I actually had a nightmare last night that Phil Shapiro actually like tried texting me, or he got his wife to like text me and try to trick me into like telling me I can't do shit and I can't make a video. The lawyer I spoke to yesterday said, you can totally make a documentary. You can totally film and say whatever you want, as long as it's not like slander, you know what I mean? But it's like, we have the footage, we have these stories, and we're going to share our stories. That's all we're doing. He's doing the exact same thing. So don't be afraid. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, he did owe the girls lots of money. And the one girl that went after him because he didn't pay her, right? She was a paid employee on tour. And she went after him legally and she won.
So what? He's super rich. What does that have to do with anything? Are you saying like...
So when he says, hey, he's super rich, he's not talking about Feldman. He's talking about Phil. If y'all remember, like it was in those screenshots that I showed, Polina said something like, oh, well, Phil makes me a little nervous because he has money, which we talked about that guy years ago, Feldman's manager. He was also Noah Hathaway's manager. Yeah, that guy's creepy too.
I mean, I don't know. Like, just because he has money doesn't mean anything. Like that, you know, that guy, I bet he's I don't know, dude. I wouldn't be afraid. It's not like they're going to come after us like in a physical way. They're not going to risk that. Like that would make them and Corey, that would screw everything up. I mean, that would screw everything up.
Sorry, guys. Okay, 2 more voice notes, guys.
All they're going to do is just try to scare, if they even do, or what they're going to do, honestly, is just go, they're just going to call us crazy. And guess what? Sadly enough, if that's the worst case scenario, half of the people are going to believe Corey still and go, oh yeah, they're just crazy, yada yada. He'll come up with some elaborate story saying that we're all just stupid and crazy, and that'll be the end
Satanists,
of it.
pedophile
Unfortunately,
protectors,
but it's not like
Mexican
nothing
gangsters.
bad's going to happen. That's his manipulation. That's what I was talking about, the NDA. It's like you don't sign, you can't sign a contract. Like I couldn't go out here and sign a contract with a guy and he's like, hey, I'm going to beat you with a stick every day and abuse you. But if you sign this contract, you can't tell anyone about it. No, that's not how it works.
Which I need to show you guys a screenshot where he talked about the NDA too.
I totally hope that Judy Haim is down for an interview. I'm hoping that once she sees, you know, when I come out and interview girls and we're actually doing this, like making it happen, that she'll be, you know, gain the trust and do it and all that, because I think she's got a very, very powerful voice in all of this.
Okay, so let's scroll down. And this will be a trigger warning, y'all. So this is what he said about the NDA. Okay, so Polina said, I hope not anything more hot. Then he says, Corey can't do shit. And then Chris says, it's like you signing an NDA. And it's saying, since you signed it, someone gets the R word, you, whenever they want. But you can't tell anyone. That's not how it works. You girls were in horrible work conditions. I think he meant to say you girls were in horrible something conditions, etc. An NDA will not do shizit. Plus, you didn't even sign one, and neither did I. Okay. Hold on. Can you guys bear with me for 1 second here? I just want to send a message. Sorry, guys. All right. So now let me stop screen sharing and pull up the screenshots of the other ones I was talking about. So what should we show first? Let's show, oh shoot, why isn't it? I think I got to refresh. Did I? Thought I had. I did. I need to refresh. Refresh. Noah Hathaway beat up his pregnant girlfriend. B said on a GoFundMe claiming an injury on never-ending story where he needed surgery and ended up using it to get gene therapy for his dog Cash to change his fur. Okay, so let's read first what Feldman had told Kim. Again, this is, years ago, back when Kim was a supporter, and Kim was the one who actually had said to Feldman, like, dude, do you realize this guy has your a GoFundMe up to do a documentary? Sorry, I can't do things. I need to become more of a professional YouTuber, you guys. I'm sorry. Uh-oh, what happened? Okay. So here is the message that Kim had sent Feldman. You see the check mark. It's verified. Kim says, now as we speak, they have started a GoFundMe called Corey Feldman Experience, saying they need $2,000 to come to LA to film a doc on you. Did you authorize that? Free to be aired on YouTube, produced by Chris Knoke, I believe is how you say his name, and Laura Knoke, Chris's wife. Let's see what Feldman had to say to that. Feldman replies, oh wait, I guess this was more a message Kim had sent after that one. Get a goddamn lawyer, please. Oh my God, these people are psychotic. I have screenshots of her trolls telling me to die and stop making videos to support you. They are batshit crazy and time to go down, down, down. Let me know when you want more names. Legit. Feldman says, I can't believe Chris would do that. We were friends. Were you friends, Corey? Or were you business partners? The guy was doing work for you and you were scamming him, not paying him, stealing his designs to profit from. But it's because everybody owes you everything, right, Cor? You're a victim. You're this, Poor Corey. Everybody has to do everything for him free, right? Right. So Corey says, I can't believe Chris would do that. He was a friend. And sorry, I'm trying to do like 5 things at once here, y'all. And I'm like keeping an eye on the time, and it's a little stressful. Okay. So then Feldman says, I don't know, this was cut off. I don't have the full message because I just needed the part about Chris. So he says, no, as an actor, that is the last thing we ever want to hear. But let me explain. We have done great work in the last 24 hours. So here's the update. The GoFundMe that Chris Knoke is done with. The GoFundMe from Chris is done with. He took it down, told everyone it was not happening, and ordered to refund their money. So instead of beating him up, we should be applauding him for making the right choice. Huh? Is it the right choice, Feldman? Oh, it's the right choice for you. Yeah. I forgot. So what'd you do? How'd you threaten him? Did you pay him off? Did your buddy Phil pay him off? What was it, Core? Which one? Oh, was it maybe similar to, stuff Phil said to Mara? Which I won't go into detail. That's her business. And I don't know if she's watching. If she wants to give me permission to speak about that, I will gladly go more into that. But I'm just saying they have a history. Phil has a history of messaging people and saying, hey, if you don't speak about this, we'll pay you this amount. And that's a fact. So, all right. Now let's look. So you guys are wondering, probably just like I wondered. Well, what changed this dude's mind, Well, let's just take a look at what he told the girls, okay? Oops, that's not the beginning of it. Okay, so this is what he told them. Let me blow that up for the people in the back. Hey, Polina, after much consideration, I decided not to continue on my project and documentary. It was more of a personal decision based on what was best for me and my family. I began to experience a lot of stress and anxiety over what I would be sharing, as well as getting into personal situations that were not mine to necessarily share with the world. I hope you understand my decision. I had gotten back in touch with Margot, but didn't hear back from her after I had told her I decided not to continue. I wish you the best of luck with your situation, and I hope you are able to take care of yourself and do what? And I hope that you are able to take care of yourself and do what you need to do. There is a possibility that I will decide to go ahead with my documentary. But as of right now, I decided to wait. Again, this was a personal decision and had nothing to do with you girls or Corey. Liar. I know that you girls will be able to accomplish all that you need to. Huh. Interesting. Let me check something out here real quick. Oh, so the date that he told the girls this was January 16, 2018. Oh, well, let's go back and look at something else. Well, actually, that's like the next message that he sent. So is the date on the other screenshot? So we know it was, before January 16th, or I'm sure it was the same day. Well, let's look at the screenshots between Kim and him. No date there. Oh, what's that? That's a date. And you guys, Kim has her stuff where this is the month because she's in Canada, and that's how their stuff shows up. January 8th, 2018, right? Hold on. Now I'm doubting myself. Yeah, January 8, 2018. So let me know in the chat, or if you're watching this on the replay, let me know in the comments what you personally feel is what you think the reason was that Chris backed out of this and stopped with his documentary to show the real Corey Feldman. So for those of you who are listening in the chat, let me know, please, in the comments. If you're watching this back on the replay, please let me know in the comments why you think it is that this guy, Chris, decided to back out of helping the girls. We all know that either Feldman or Phil called him and said something to him. So, and here we are. That was January of 2018. We're in April of 21. So 1920, 3 years later, here we are. And he's now interviewing Courtney and talking about how he's working on a documentary with Feldman. So Fire says, wow, I thought he said don't be scared. Future Girl says such a sellout. Fire says fear. He said as much. JT says he got paid off. Fire says hashtag sold out for fear or money or both. JT says happens all the time. Evelyn said Feldman has dirt on Chris. That's interesting. Kirsty says told he would never work again. Well, Kirsty, very, very good point, because didn't Feldman threaten the one angel and said, you'll never work in Hollywood again? You guys remember that voicemail that he left? Oh yeah, there's that. JT says probably both, some fear and some money to influence. Future Girl says, like Chris stated earlier, he is a fan. He is still too starstruck to turn against Feldman. He still wants to remain a fan. Well, yes, and Future Girl, if you look at the videos on Chris's channel, you will see an interview that he did with a radio host. And he says, like, yeah, when I was a kid, I said, I want to be friends with a Goonie. And, now here I am working with Corey Feldman. That was my dream as a child, to be, a friend of one of the Goonies. Elliot says, Corey Feldman has used the ploy of threatening detractors with claims that they molested minors. He probably threatened that to him. I don't know, but definitely a threat and bribery. Okay. Ruby says Feldman went to his handler Phil and negotiated money with Connote Chris. I don't know if I'm even saying his name right. And he paid him off for the work and t-shirt sales. Somebody else says probably offered him an opportunity. Don't think it was threats. Corey likes to say that, yes, like he has the power. Yeah, the fan thing. Regardless, Courtney and Corey have egg all over their face, and Chris's true feelings have now been exposed. Ain't that the truth? So yeah. Let me see something here, guys. We got 30 minutes, so I don't know if anybody wants to jump on here, say anything, but there's the link if anybody wants to. Oh, for some reason, why did it not show up in Bobby's chat? Bobby's old chat. Oh, there it is. Okay. But yeah, so I mean, this guy, like I said, Chris, if this video ever makes it to you, I really would like to know how you and your wife sleep at night. Truly. And hey, you can slide into my DMs. You know, I'm willing to have a conversation with you privately, whichever, and you tell me your side of things. But, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to put 2 and 2 together. So, you know, we heard everything you said. And that literally goes with anybody else who's had an experience with Feldman. Hell, I had even heard, because I think the people had reached out to somebody who reached out to Bobby and I, or maybe they had reached out to Bobby, the people that built his studio in his basement, right? Remember, he had no money. Oh, he sure did after he closed those GoFundMes down. Then all of a sudden he was, you know, getting a new studio built in a rental home, y'all. And he wasn't paying those people. You know, we've heard the story of a beauty salon that he took his wife and his girlfriend at the time and some of the other angels too to get their hair done. And the salon said that they would, you know, do their hair for free, or yeah, I believe it was free, as long as he, you know, gave them a shout out on Instagram. And, you know, him and Courtney posted pictures of their hair and tagged the beauty salon. Yeah. Do you think Feldman did that? No. Do you think Feldman tipped them? No. Because this is how Feldman operates. And Chris, I'll give it to you. You're right. You said you want to get to the bottom and figure out how Feldman is able to manipulate people and do things that they normally wouldn't do, or, you know, manipulate people into working for free. That's exactly what he did to my ex. Oh, invest in my band, blah, 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 and then ghosted him. Now, I was telling somebody the story of how I met Feldman a few days ago, right? And, you know, you all have heard me say it enough. I'm not going to repeat it. But, so I met him 3 times, okay? First time at the club, second time at the club, third time at his show. Then I had moved to Virginia, right? Stopped seeing the guy. Obviously, I was seeing in Illinois. The guy that, you know, owned all the clubs and got Feldman to come to his club, right? So I moved to Virginia in January of 2001. And after I had lived there for like 3-4 months, I had come back. Maybe it was a little bit longer, 6 months. I wish Nicole was still in here. I had come back to Illinois to visit family and friends. Mark and I had only talked a handful of times on the phone when I moved, but he knew I was back in town. He wanted to see me. So I went and saw him. He had been up all night, you know, partying. And, you know, that's when I brought him back to his house. And that's where I saw the photos printed out and said, you know, oh, hey, what's this? Or, you know, and then he told me he went on that Playboy cruise with Feldman. And I saw all the pictures, and, you know, I took the 2 that I took. And, you know, and then Mark told me how he had gotten conned by Feldman, and Feldman ghosted him after he gave him like 30 grand, or it was somewhere between 30 and 40. I don't remember the exact amount. But still to this day, I don't know what happened after that. I don't know if Mark ended up making, Feldman ended up reaching out to him one day. I don't know if, they ended up hanging out and Mark got to go to the Playboy Mansion. I honestly do not know. I happened to run into Mark about 2 years before I moved to California. So let's say 6-7 years ago. I was at a Blackhawks game and I ran into him. I was up in the penthouse through my husband's job, and I ran into him, and we said hello and had a couple laughs, and talked about, he told me he was married and had kids, and I told him I was engaged, blah blah blah, and that was it. Have I debated, since I've been involved in this whole thing, to try to get a hold of Mark and ask him about Feldman? Yeah, I have. But I also know that Mark's a hard person to get a hold of. Obviously, I don't have his current cell phone. So I would have to try to call his corporate work, and I know how that is. Because actually, after I'd seen him at the Hawks game, I had tried reaching out to him. The Hawks were in the playoffs. I wanted freaking tickets, and I know he obviously had the hookup through Bud Light because of all the restaurants and clubs he owns. And Mark, didn't get the message or whatever until like weeks later. And by the time he called me back, the Hawks were already out of the playoffs. It's kind of an awkward conversation. But yeah, I've debated trying to reach out to Mark to be like, hey, so like whatever ended up happening, but I just haven't, pulled the trigger on that yet, just because it's like kind of awkward, So yeah. So like I said, I don't know what ended up happening, but this guy, Chris, he spoke the truth, but he didn't have the balls to do the right thing for whatever reason. You guys have heard the tour bus driver and his experience and what he witnessed. You have heard Dre and what he went through, which you might be hearing from him again real soon here. But yeah, and you've heard all the girls talk about it. You've heard my story with him. You've heard other people's stories on Twitter. You've seen people's tweets and everything else. How can everyone be wrong, right? How can everybody be wrong and everybody's lying? People that don't know each other, people who didn't know each other. So, that's just what I want everybody to really think about. The guy Chris sat there and told Polina, oh, there's nothing to be scared of. F them. They can't do anything. They'll try to threaten us. They'll try to scare us, but they can't do anything. But, Corey could have called him, given him a guilt trip. It's like, oh man, brother, I was, totally forgot to tell you about this connection I have. And, who knows? Only those two know. But, again, you go with what makes sense. And we all know that Corey has, or, his manager, Phil, has paid off multiple people, saying, hey, that money that you worked for, Yeah, we didn't give to you. Yeah, as long as you don't talk to them wolfpackers, we'll go ahead and pay you the money that you earned. Right? That's how it works. So, it just boggles my mind how people, especially people that, there's people that blindly support Feldman, right? Like that was something I was just talking about with someone, this week too, the same person. And I was telling them like how when Feldman members started leaving him, like Kim and Stacy and Michelle and some others, how none of them had watched one of Bobby's videos. They had never watched Margot's interview. They had never watched Jackie's interview. Zero, zilch, nada. And I was like, are you kidding me? Seriously? Well, yeah, Feldman told us not to watch them and told us to only, flag them and report them. So we never watched them. And I was just like, wow, well, here, watch them. So there are people out there. And it's like we talked about in the last video, there's a lot of things that are culty when it comes to Feldman and how he runs his thing, right? I pointed out how, he scolded Gina publicly and was like, bad, Gina, don't react. Bad, you're in timeout, Gina. You're already in timeout, but now you're in another timeout while you're in timeout. But yeah, there's people that blindly, support him. But then you got people like this dude, Chris, who know how he is, who have witnessed him partake in drugs and know that he screams every day about how he is sober. There's people like Chris who have witnessed him being extremely inappropriate and essay females. But then decide to work with him again 3 years later. And give his wife a platform to lie about things. And she's lying. All that stuff was nonsense. But thing about your platform is, Chris, again, for somebody who has 76,000 subs, you know what? Let me take a look at something. Let me just go ahead and screen share while I take a look at something. All right. So let's look at this together, shall we? And then we'll wrap this up. Okay. Let's refresh it to get accurate numbers.
I had a big, giant bald spot right in the front.
Sorry.
Like there could be any worse place for.
You shared an article.
Get an ad blocker. I don't know how to do that. Okay, so he's got 76,500 subscribers. Okay, this video was put up yesterday on the 31st. Doesn't say how many hours, so we'll just, 217 views. Okay. Well, let's go to whoa. My channel. All right. I have 1,600 subs. So literally 75,000 less subscribers than him. Okay. restreamed Scott's interview, Scott on Tape, which everybody had already seen on Scott's channel. A lot of people who hadn't, or a few people who hadn't seen it on Scott's channel, saw it on Kim's channel when she restreamed it. But I also restreamed it to, get more information out there is the better, right? I streamed it a day ago. 234 views on something that people have already seen. Okay. This one, 2 days ago, 290 views. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe it's just, people aren't interested in the Feld fam. And I honestly didn't look at his channel or his other videos, but let's go ahead and do that. Oh, well, wow. And I swear to y'all, I haven't looked at this. All right. A month ago, 289 views. 282, 417, 210 views. For someone who has 76,000 subscribers. And yeah, fire, numbers are my thing. I was an accountant assistant for, many, many years. I'm not good with words, spelling, writing, not my thing, but numbers, those are my thing. Here's one. He did a review on a gaming headset, 1,000 views. But here he did a review on a Bluetooth thing. 100. I mean, it just doesn't add up. Oh, here he's got 8,000 subscribers. Ken and Karen, St. Louis GTA. So I'm just saying. Could he possibly be a liar and a fraud also? Huh. We know about his morals. We know about his ethics. And like I said again, Chris, if this video ever makes it to you, I'm on Twitter at Suzi-Q7979. You can leave a comment on this video. My email, I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. You know what? Instead of my email, because that's not the best way to get a hold of me. The best way to get a hold of me, because I don't have my notifications turned on for social media, any platform, but on Messenger through Facebook, you can contact me at Susie Mendez. And at least there, the little bubble thing pops up where I get the little thing that I got a message request. But yeah. Corey Feldman's using people, no doubt. Hey, Katie. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here and showing your support and listening to this. I feel that it was really, really important to, first of all, point out the lies. Let's do a little recap here. We pointed out the lies of Courtney, right? And how she, talked about the monster trucks, and that story didn't make sense, saying that, she lied about Mara being there. Mara had already bailed out on y'all. So nice trying to, sneak that in there and act like, ooh, well, since Mara stayed behind, they tried to run us over. Yeah, nice try, Courtney. Your story doesn't make sense because you said you were looking for an Uber and a cab and then say the place was right across the street. Then you talked about the monster trucks, the attack. And you flat out said your husband never had a wound and that, thank God, he was able to pull away. That doesn't go with what your husband said. So, like, why you guys didn't even ask Chris to take that video down is beyond me. But I am sure due to the amount of drugs y'all do and all the lies you tell, you can't even remember what you've said and when you've said it. And yeah, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So we exposed all that. And then we exposed this guy, Chris, on how he picked the abuser over the abuse. And again, I hope this video makes it to you, Chris. He said in that video that he's really not much on Twitter, so I don't know. I hope somebody gets in this video or he sees it somehow. I will be changing the description after this and be adding some hashtags. So, again, I hope this does make it to you. And I really, really want to know how you and your wife, because your wife was there a lot of times. I know. And she witnessed things. I want to know how you two sleep at night. To not only bail out on these girls when you have evidence that could help them, but then on top of that, if that wasn't bad enough, then 3 years later, you upload a video with the wife, Courtney, and talk about how y'all are working together. And did you really think that these girls wouldn't be like, whoa, what the heck? You know, I personally, as many other people I know that are, you know, been involved in this, we're like, whoa, what the heck? So, you know, it's a good thing to hold on to things because you never know when you might have to show it. So with that, everybody have a great night. Thank you everybody for being here. Oh, hold on. Oh, thank you again for Fire for sharing my Cash App. Kim and Stacy are doing a live here in a couple minutes. So not sure what that all entails, but I guess it's supposed to be a bombshell. So we'll see. But everybody have a good night. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Because I have a feeling, guys, we're going to have lots more to talk about here real soon. So see you soon, friends.